Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at one of my special filming spots because guess what? We have that first ever fully production electrified vehicle from that iconic Japanese brand. What the heck is it? It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2023 Toyota. That was the iconic brand I mentioned, bZ4x. This particular one is the top limited trim. But before we get into this electric SUV that is of smaller size, let's talk about what's going on here. Toyota has sworn, they've actually gone to Washington, D.C. to say, you know what? We're not ready to go full EV yet. But remember, Toyota is no stranger to electrification, starting back so many decades ago with the Toyota Prius, because a hybrid technically is a form of an electric vehicle. Now, their first BEV, battery electric vehicle, is this one here for the masses, the bZ4x. Now, what's interesting is that it's pretty much the same size as another one of their vehicles known as the RAV4. And I kind of feel sometimes when I'm thinking about Toyota's lineup, I feel like they might cannibalize one another because a lot of the vehicles in their lineup, especially their SUVs, are very similar. So what I want to find out is, if you had a certain amount of cash, certain amount of do-re-mi, is the bZ4x the better way to go over, say, a RAV4 Prime, which, remember, the Prime is a plug-in electric hybrid. So let's go ahead, let's dive into this bZ4x and find out. Right off the bat, like I said, the dimensions spot on the money to what you would find with a RAV4. At the front end, you're gonna get full LED lighting. That goes without saying. LED turn signals, daytime running lamps, and you'll see that multi-beam setup for our headlights. Ginormous corner air curtains. I mean, I could actually take a Mickey D's cheeseburger and actually slide it in there, and that could be like a holder for your hamburger. Let me know what you think about the metallic black finish. This is not flat black, and it's not supposed to be painted. Do you think this would look better painted? Let me know down in the comment section. But the way that it wraps around and forms this little lower lip really has some aggressive style. But remember, it's also about coefficient drag numbers. Low coefficient of drag helps us get a larger range. Now, as we come across the front, really not a whole lot going on, because on a full battery electric vehicle, there's no reason for an upper grille. So you're gonna get that gloss black. That's where they hid the forward-facing camera and some silver trim on the limited edition. Working your way down, body color, and then this portion is functional. This lower grille, flat black, because we do have a lithium-ion cooled battery pack, and you'll also notice some shiny silver on the lower lip. But definitely, compared to a RAV4, I prefer the RAV4. Even though the RAV4 hasn't been redesigned since 2019, I mean, I get it, but I also don't get it when it comes to this bZ4x. Let me know down in the comment section how you feel. Has this grown on you at all? I'm very curious. Now, as we rise up, notice how they took the Toyota badge and actually sunk it into the front nose area. That's for that nice slippery shape. When it comes to the hood, we have our clean body lines that evaporate, and then you have some of that metallic black to kind of break up the sea of just silver. Let me know if you like that area. Same story as on the corners, if you rather have it all body color matched. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire stuff. So when you go limited, that's the top trim. You're gonna get these 20-inch wheels, machine aluminum, the dark metallic black. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this 20-inch tire? 235 on the width, 50 series sidewall. And you'll notice how the whole fender all the way around, including half of the charge port door, is that metallic black. Let me know again if you like this. Now remember, on the RAV4 Prime, that also has a lot of metallic black around the fender openings, but it's not as ginormous as this area. So that comes down to beauty in the eye of the beholder. Do you like that or you don't like it? Let me know in the comment section. Now, as we rise up, you do have, like I said, that charge port door. That's where you're gonna do all your charging for that battery electric vehicle. The nice thing about a RAV4 Prime is you don't have to be tied to a cord, a power cord, because that is a plug-in electric hybrid. You still have an internal combustion engine. What this vehicle has is 2 electric motors. So the top trim, the Limited, has 2 electric motors, which means what? Yes, you are correct. Means we have all-wheel drive. Now on the lower portion, I'm surprised that they went flat black instead of the metallic gray. I actually prefer the flat black a little bit better. You'll notice how it extends out for that airflow. You do have color matched on the door handles. And then you do have the metallic black on our mirror caps with 360-degree cameras. Some shiny bright metalwork only on the top and very close to the roof rails because we're trying to cut down on the drag. You still can get your crossbars, put your kayak up there, put a banana holder, a banana carrier, whatever you want to put up top. If you have the crossbars, you're good to go. Now working towards the rear, I do like the overall body lines of this vehicle over a RAV4, especially the one that comes off the passenger door and then flows nicely into that rear quarter panel. Let me know how you feel about that style compared to the RAV4 Prime. And then when we get to the back, it's pretty sleek, man. No rear wiper. Toyota swears up and down that it's not needed because with the Aero, the raindrops will just wash away. You'll notice how they did a split setup on the roof spoiler. And then you have those vortex generators in the center there to clean the air as it comes off the rear glass, and you have a nice kick-up rear spoiler on there. And I like the way it's all black, matches in clean. Just like up front, you're gonna have full LED lighting, turn signals, tail lights, reverse lamps. There's our bZ4x, this being an SUV with all-wheel drive, and our Limited trim. To give you a badge, let everybody know you went and spent all the money to get to the top trim. Now working our way down, I do like the way they worked this lower bumper. It looks like a rear diffuser off a race car. And they did that on purpose because of the air coming underneath the vehicle. Now what's great is that you do have hands-free operation. I actually opened this up with my hands by going like this. And if you notice, it closes. But we're not ready to show you the cargo area. What I want to do is I want to show you underneath the hood. So let's get to the front end and check out what's powering our bZ4X. All right, guys, we got the hood pop. Now, most people are not going to pop the hood. And I think the biggest zonk I have, especially if you compare this to a Mach-E, is that there's no storage up front. Another vehicle that this would compare to is the Volkswagen ID4, which I guess it would be even Stevens because a Volkswagen ID4 has no storage up front. So what do you have? You have the electric motor up front, electric motor out back. That's going to give us, like I said, that all-wheel drive, combined 214 horsepower, 248 pound-feet of torque. It uses a 65.6 kilowatt battery pack, 0 to 60 in about 6.3 seconds. Top speed is governed to 104 miles per hour. Range is where it hurts. 222 mile range when you go Limited trim with the dual motors. What that equates to is 92 mpges in the city, 102 mpges on the highway. The vehicle weighs 4,514 pounds. On a DC fast charger, you could go 0% battery charge to 80% battery charge in a little less than under an hour. So a little less than 60 minutes to get to 80% charge. But interesting, like I said, no storage capability, but this definitely competes. Like I said, the two main competitors, Volkswagen ID4 and of course the Mach-E, but there's also going to be the upcoming Chevrolet Equinox EV that will go up against this. But why don't I go ahead, let's turn it on and see it roll. All right, guys, we're inside this silver. I would call this silver bullet, but I think we would be going too far with that bZ4X Limited trim. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm glad that you're doing this review. I'm on the cusp. I'm on the edge of buying a RAV4. I was thinking hybrid. Maybe I'll go all in and get a Prime, but I'm also thinking about this bZ4X. I kind of like to stand out from the crowd, and I haven't even seen one of these on the road, let alone driven in one. But how much is it? Very good question. So let's talk about this. The RAV4 Hybrid, that's going to cost you around an MSRP of $38,000. The RAV4 Prime basically costs the same amount as this vehicle. How much does this vehicle cost? MSRP, limited trim, 50 G's. So let's see what you should do and what you get for the money. To the door panels. Now you are getting a nice two-tone setup. I like the black soft material up top with that off gray finish, looks good. Too much gloss black. Too much. So I am gonna zonk that, especially around the switchgear. You're gonna get fingerprints everywhere. You do have a little bit of silver trim, and the door pocket is very, very tight. You might be able to get one hamburger from Mickey D's. And you might not even be able to get pickles because there's not that much room in there, but you do have enough room for a small Pepsi, so that's good. Going from the door panel to the dash, I'm not really digging this carpet style interior, this cloth dash system. Not my favorite. You do have the JBL 9-speaker sound system on the limited trim. And then as you come in, what do we got? We have a 12.3-inch infotainment system. Now the good news is this is the same exact multimedia system we've been showing you on every single Toyota on every Toyota vehicle that we do when we bring you the information. This is exactly how it works. You have your different personal settings for each driver, different profiles. Of course, you got your navigation. I throw it in reverse. I do like the resolution on the cameras. They went all in, especially on the 360. We have trajectory, which is nice. They went all in on the cameras, which is great. You do have your 360 view. What would be cool is if we could see Lori, because Lori right now is hanging out of the passenger side. That would be pretty killer to see LG Rady on the screen of this bZ4X. But you do have a 360 scan. You know, sometimes if there is maybe a rabid squirrel or a rabid fox that's sitting outside, you don't want to get attacked, you could do that 360 scan. And then you could get right out of it, just like that. Ta-da! You do have your dual climate control, some nice toggle switches. We have 3 stages of ventilated seats and 3 stages of heated seats. I'm going ventilated though, that's me. Power on, because this is a BEV, battery electric vehicle. This is gonna control our direct drive transmission, and then you have a sea of gloss black. So I am gonna zonk this. Most people I think are gonna drive like that because they're gonna have their phone on the wireless charger. You do have a USB-A, and because of this bridge system with the electric shifter, we have storage and connectivity on the bottom. You got another place to put a phone, USB-Cs, you do have a 12 volt, and I could put a 3-pound bag of cherries back here. I would try to find seedless because you could crack a molar or break your crown if you bite down a cherry and there's a pit in the center. So I would try to get, if you could find cherries that have been de-pitted or pitted. I guess de-pitted doesn't make sense. But anyways, back to the actual bZ4X. You got your 2 cup holders. Nice soft material. Open this bad boy up. What do we have? You got some felt lining, and you got a removable little tray. So you could actually use this as a trash can. Say you're like eating roasted peanuts and you got the shells, you could throw them in here. I personally would probably put, I would say, my 9 ColecoVision game cartridges I still have. I used to be so big into video games, and the first video game system we had as kids was not Atari. We had ColecoVision. And the first driving game I ever had was a game called Turbo. Absolutely loved it. It had a steering wheel. That was the old school race simulator. Now they have these multi-$1,000 systems. I'll stick with my Turbo. But I could keep the game cartridges in here. Seats, soft-tex material. Love the gray finish. Nice ventilated. No power adjustments for the passenger, which doesn't make sense to me because we're an electric vehicle and this is a limited trim. But the great news is, watch this. I just got to make sure I hit the right button. Look at that. You got your panoramic sliding power shade sunroof. Really fast too. I mean, this thing is, look at this. Nice. So really fast action. No digital rear view mirror. That's a bummer in the limited trim. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind this very unique steering wheel in the bZ4X. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have your power settings for the driver's seat only. It's nice that they have the lower lumbar, which is great. It's interesting because I feel like the roof is a little bit lower, especially when you're looking at the exterior of the bZ4X compared to a RAV4, but yet I don't feel cramped. I'm 6 feet tall, still not close to the headliner, even with the panoramic sunroof. Steering wheel is a bit of a conversation piece. It's not an attractive steering wheel. It just looks kind of weird, but it does have the soft material all the way around, flat black on all the switch gear, and it is manual tilting and telescoping, which is nice. The other conversation piece is the dash. They want you to use it like a head-up display, and that kind of makes sense to me, but it takes some time getting used to. It's got your charge gauge, how much range left you have, and all the other safety features, your adaptive cruise control and stuff, but still the placement of it, like I said, kind of strange, but if you use it like a head-up display, it does make operating this vehicle a little bit more enjoyable. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the back seat and see how the bZ4X stacks up to the RAV4. All right, guys, back seat time. And one thing that's great about the back seat is just like up front, you're getting a good amount of headroom in here. And it's crazy how they engineered that in, even with the roofline being a little bit more sleek than the RAV4. Now, one of the things that helps is we have a flat floor in here. Because this is a BEV, battery electric vehicle, totally flat floor. You do have that soft-tex material on the backs of the seats. Good sized pockets. You could easily get, I would say, 4 caramel or candy apples, maybe an elephant ear or 2 in there, or maybe some funnel cake. So if you're going to the fair, this might be the vehicle you drive. If you are going, I want to go with you because I want a couple candy apples. And then you have your little command center, USB-Cs. We have 3 stages of heated seats, but no ventilated seats. And we have these very small postage stamp style AC vents, but at least we have some AC back here, especially on a warm day like it is today. These soft-tex seats live up to their name. They're soft and they feel good. And then check that out, soft armrest. They even put a little bit of silver trim because this is a limited. And then of course you have your Slim Jim holder in here because obviously the first thing you want to do when you get in a bZ4X is snap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah. But anyways, let's get into the cargo area and see what we could haul in this electrified Toyota. All right guys, cargo area time. Real simple. You're gonna hit the button under the Toyota badge, or you can use hands-free. It's up to you. I like to go hands-on sometimes. But anyways, your cargo area, you're gonna get a plentiful amount of room. Even with the rear electric motor, nice size on the cargo floor. You do have your JBL subwoofer. That's part of that optional speaker package with 9 speakers. What are we looking at though? 26 cubic feet of space with the seats up. Of course, the seats can fold down. It's a 60-40 split. You do have a nice little nook here where you can nestle a box of electrified Twinkies. Those are Twinkies that have green cream filling in the center. They're also known as Slimer Twinkies, based off of Slimer from the Ghostbusters movie. And then if you pick this up, what do we have? You have storage for your charging accessories. So because this is a BEV, battery electric vehicle, you gotta use this. You gotta plug it in, and then this other part goes in the wall, and that allows you to charge, or you could go to a charging station, or you could have one of those cool chargers installed at your house. But you know what? I need to get charged up. I need to do some on throttle, so if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a spin in the bZ4X. All right, guys, we are inside this 2023 bZ4X limited trim. Right away, I think you're gonna like the way everything is arranged in here. Even though it's got that floating iPad style infotainment system, it's still low enough that it's not even at the base of the windshield, like cutting into that view. It's well within reach while you're driving. And having the storage is nice as well. Now remember, the reason why it's got that great storage is because it does have the electric shifter, but another reason why it's so great is because you don't have a glove box in this vehicle. So something to think about if you like to keep your driving gloves in the glove box, you don't have that capability. You'll have to keep it underneath the bridge center console area. Now going down the road, very, very smooth. You do not have one pedal operation with the bZ4X, and I'm kind of okay with that. The reason why is that it keeps you engaged as the driver. I feel like sometimes when I'm driving a vehicle like a Mach-E with one pedal operation, I feel like I'm operating a golf cart. But with the bZ4X, you do stay more engaged. If you use that gauge cluster as a head-up display, it works fine. If you don't, you're gonna feel like the steering wheel is in the way every single time you look at it. But going down the road, even with the 20-inch wheels, it does a pretty good job with road noise. I'm still getting a bit inside the cabin, but the good news is not too much wind noise. Seats are comfortable, they're supportive, and I think you're gonna like the overall driving experience. It feels like a Toyota in a good way, especially because this is a battery electric vehicle. I personally don't like the fact that it does not have a range of at least 300 miles. So that to me is a zonk, especially if you're gonna use this for any kind of trip to the fair to get the funnel cakes. But the wonderful thing is visibility is at a premium in here, and you have all the Toyota sensing technology, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, emergency brake assist, steer trace, the whole 9 yards. With it being a full BEV, one thing that you're going to be surprised with is how well it handles. Because the battery is in the bottom of the chassis of this thing, it actually handles very, very well because of the low center of gravity. I mean, look at this. Going into this left-hand bend, holds a line nicely, and this isn't a corner carver, but it just does well because of the low center of gravity. And then remember, because this is a BEV, nobody's behind us right now. I'm gonna slow down. Because this is a BEV, you have that instant torque. Watch this. On throttle, here we go. Not the fastest of BEVs, but also not the slowest. I think it's like a mild to medium on that 0 to 60 of 6.7 seconds, but this vehicle is not about that. I really think the two prime competitors are the ID4 and the Equinox EV. You could possibly throw the Mach-E in there, but I feel like that one's just a little bit larger. But going down the road, it's very smooth. It's very familiar in a good way, especially if you've been in other Toyota vehicles. I can't really stand the amount of gloss black there is, especially in the center console area. And there have been a few times today where even with the sunshade closed, I had to hold my hand up to block the glare from just blazing my freaking eyeballs. So just something to think about. My advice is definitely keep that lid open. But going down the road, very smooth. And the fact that this is Toyota's first fully electric vehicle, I think they did a pretty good job with it. If you want more range, you could get it. What's funny is remember, you actually get more range with the single motor and with smaller wheels and tires. The 20-inch wheels with the 20-inch tires actually give you less range than if you had the 18-inch wheels. So just something to think about. If you're what do you value? Do you like the niceties or do you want more range? You could kind of flex that muscle both ways, but obviously, if you asked me which Toyota would I go with, it would be the RAV4 Hybrid or the RAV4 Prime. And I think for $38,000 or so, the RAV4 Hybrid really is a lot of vehicle for the money. But we're gonna go ahead, hopefully this has been a good overall review of this bZ4X. We're gonna go ahead and get back to where it all began. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a little bit of a shocking day, a little bit of an electrifying day with this bZ4X. I definitely want to thank the whole Toyota USA team getting us access to this press fleet vehicle. Let me know what you think. Are you ready for the future to go full BEV battery electric vehicle? Or do you want to play it safe, maybe with a RAV4 Prime or maybe even a RAV4 Hybrid? Both use electric motors in different ways and they come in at different price points. But let me know down in the comment section how you feel. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile to come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radius Rides family. We can't do this without the muscle behind the lens. Who is that? Lori Givens Rady, working that camera like a champ. Follow her on Instagram. It's real simple, Lori Rady. Show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for being the best in the world. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.